Gratitude in its most profound form can be a guiding life force. Aiden Hubbard knows better than most. By all accounts, flying an airplane for Jay Usitalo was a sacred endeavor.
It's just, you know how people would go and communicate, pray to God in a quiet place? That was his place, I think.
I didn't know the man, but I like to think of him up there, trying to get closer to his God, to something untouchable, searching maybe for a singular moment of perfection and grace. That's him as a boy, building airplanes. His was a flying family. His grandfather took him up as a child, and there was never a question that Jay would soar. And even then, as a kid, he seemed to identify with eagles.
Yeah, he always had this thing about eagles. And as he grew older, that the eagle sort of began to be almost a spiritual thing for him.
As a boy, Aiden was drawn to flying too. Sometimes his Uncle Jay, the cool uncle, as he calls him, would take him up.
It was larger than life, I'd say.
And so 3 years ago, when Aiden was living in Cheney and dealing with a bully at school, his Uncle Jay invited him to spend a weekend in Redmond. It was a clear Saturday and the sky was calling. They climbed into Jay's Mall M5, a four-seater, and took off. Off to the right, less than 200 feet away, they saw something amazing. A bald eagle riding a thermal.
He thought it was almost a connection, a guardian that would be watching over whenever he's flying. He knew that there was a companion with him almost.
But 30 minutes into the flight, something changed. The sound of the engine was different.
I didn't know at the time. I think Jay definitely knew that there was something wrong. The plane was getting much louder, the altitude, we were losing altitude. He was telling me stories to try to take my mind off of it, I guess, I think.
Aiden had told us that he had said, you know, look, do you see any eagles, Aiden? Is there, you know, what else do you see out there? And he was trying to keep Aiden outwardly focused.
Maybe it was during one of the stories, his mind racing, fighting back his own panic, that Jay reached down and unbuckled his seatbelt. And then the engine seized up and stopped.
Almost stupidly, I said to my uncle, that wasn't supposed to happen, right? And he said, no, it wasn't. And he got to work. As soon as it stopped, he did everything he could to start it back up again. It was quiet. I remember saying a small little prayer. Not necessarily asking to survive this, but just for things to be okay. Just for that comfort. And it was immediate. I immediately knew that things would be okay, and I didn't know I was going to survive. I didn't know if I was going to walk away. I didn't know if Jay was going to walk away with me. If I survived, I just comforted.
You were at peace.
Yeah, definitely.
Jay saw a field that he thought he could get to, but as they dropped with the engine in front, they couldn't see directly below them.
The last second, a house appeared right in front of us. It wasn't a small house, it was a big house, and we were heading right for it. The last thing I remember is Jay actually jumping and throwing himself on top of me. And the blow that hit him, the blunt force trauma that hit him would have killed me instantly.
Jay Usitalo died on impact, a shield at the end for his young nephew. They found Aiden hanging upside down with a broken back, shattered teeth, traumatic brain injuries with burns and internal damage, but he was alive. The plane, as it was removed, gave twisted, mangled testimony to the enormity of the miracle that had occurred within. A small army of first responders cut Aiden out. He was airlifted to Harborview. The road ahead would be long and painful.
It's not easy to lose a brother and have the miracle of your son being saved in the same moment.
I guess lastly, Aiden, just, you know, you're gonna be all right after all this?
Yeah. I am.
You got a whole life ahead of you, right?
Yeah. I plan on living it fully, as best as I can.
Profound gratitude as a guiding life force. I didn't know the man, but I know this. At 2:50 in the afternoon on March 9th, 2013, at the very instant that Jay Usitalo fought against the laws of physics and the human instinct of self-preservation to thrust his body on top of Aiden Hubbard as his plane plummeted to the earth, at that instant, he touched something that only a tiny chosen few ever touch, a singular moment of perfection and grace.